That cat is big, man. It concludes round 3. Before I bring it back, how about a big hand for that lineup? Is that a great lineup or not? And what you should be doing now is you're playing the judge in your mind and who you'd have first and who you'd have second. And it's not going to be an easy task for the judges. But let's bring these guys back for a comparison round. Bring them back. You saw them pose. Let's bring them back one at a time now. Number 1, Dennis Wolf. Number 2, Brandon Curry. Number 3, Branch Warren. Number 4, Victor Martinez. Number 5, Sean Roden. Number 6, Cedric McMillan. Number 7, Fred Smalls. Number 8, Edward Nunn. Number 9, Tony Freeman. Number 10, Ben Pekulski. And number 11, Evan Senapani. And at this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to Steve Weinberger. It's not working? We need some power on that mic. We need some power on the mic. Let's see.
Lonnie.
Okay.
Thank you. In numerical order, competitor 1, Dennis Wolf. Competitor 4, Victor Martinez. 5, Sean Roden. 6, Cedric McMillan. Victor and Dennis switch, please. Sorry.
Now, a couple of things of interest here, Dave, that they brought out only
Gentlemen,
4.
front double bicep.
So we can definitively put Victor in that top 4 now. Some people had him going back and forth with Evan. I had him 4th. It looks like he will be 4th here unless he's able
Front
to overtake
spread.
Cedric McMillan, which I do not expect him to do. The other thing of note is that they moved Dennis Wolf and Sean Roden into the center, again confirming that they are battling
Side chest.
for this title.
Larry, you've mentioned it a couple of times throughout the competition how the physiques change in matters of minutes, sometimes certainly a matter of hours between prejudging. Now that you're
Back
seeing them,
double bicep.
now that you're seeing them side by side, what is your opinion on how they look this evening?
I think that Dennis will beat Sean based on overpowering him size-wise. Conditioning-wise, they are very close. But I think size-wise, Dennis will take that advantage and ride that to the title. But Sean Roden looks exceptional as well. I just think when conditioning is pretty equal, and it looks like it to me, you could even make an argument from behind that Dennis Wolf is a bit more detailed, especially from the waist up. I think Cedric McMillan has maintained, if not bettered, his condition from earlier today, and Victor Martinez the same. So I would keep the placings the way that I had them earlier. Dennis Wolf 1, Sean Roden 2, Cedric McMillan 3, and Victor Martinez 4, but that's just my opinion.
And your favorite most muscular?
And to give you some perspective here, on the left side of your screen is where you'll find Cedric McMillan. Then you have Sean Roden, Dennis Wolf, and Victor Martinez there on the right.
Sean and Dennis back in line, but don't disappear, please. Competitor 11, Evan Centopani. 3, Branch Warren.
Okay, what does this tell you, Larry?
This tells me that we're sticking with our original predictions. Now we have our top 6 because
Evan
now
and Victor switch, please.
Evan has been moved in and Branch has been moved in. They were the 2 competitors. We had 5 and 6 coming in after
Gentlemen, front double bicep.
the prejudging. What this also suggests, though, Dave, is that 3 through 6 is not a foregone conclusion in the judges' minds, because if it was, they would have been more likely to put all 4 competitors back in line and bring out a fresh set of athletes. So Branch Warren being given the opportunity here for the first time, because he was not compared with these gentlemen at prejudging, to potentially move himself up from that 6th position to 5th, 4th, or even 3rd. I don't think he'll move up that much, but now he has the opportunity to be compared and potentially move up a spot or 2. And that's where this 50% tonight becomes so important to the outcome of this contest.
Back lat spread.
Many Branch Warren fans were upset earlier because they thought that without him being compared, and it's true, to some of these other athletes, that there was no way that he was going to get higher than 6. But now, standing alongside these other 3 athletes, it's entirely possible, like you said, Larry, that he could rank as high as 3, although unlikely he could get that high.
What will be interesting to me is if they move him at all, because as long as he's standing next to Cedric McMillan, I don't think he's going to move up. Because I have Cedric in 3rd and Branch in 6th. They're a bit apart. But if they move Branch after this comparison in between, say, Victor Martinez and Evan Centopani,
most muscular?
Then there is a chance that he will move up. As long as he's positioned next to Cedric, it would be hard to see why you would move him ahead of, say, Evan and Victor if you hadn't stood next to them and been compared more closely.
Okay.
Once again, in numerical order. Competitor 2, Brandon Curry. 7, Fred Smalls. 8, Ed Nunn. 10, Ben Pakowski.
So at this point, our top 6 is in the books. Although, of course, we don't know the order yet.
Tony Freeman, 9.
But now that they've all been put back in line, we'll see if the judges call them out for any more comparisons. I suspect we're going to see Dennis and Sean one more time.
And who do you think will fare the best out of this class that we see on stage now?
Ben and Ed switch, please. Fred and Brandon switch, please.
All right.
Yeah, scanning this group, I would say Ben for sure because I had him right behind
Tony and
Branch.
Ed switch.
And after that, I would lean towards Brandon Curry because of his structure.
Gentlemen, front double bicep. Relax, spread out a little bit, gentlemen. Front double bicep. Front lat spread. Side chest.
And I think, Dave, Ben and Brandon really do stand out in this group. With Ben, I think the best in this group, Brandon right after that, very closely. And based on moving Tony Freeman in, I would say that he would be next, and which would leave Ed Nunn and Fred Smalls bringing up the rest of the competition.
Back lat spread.
As you're watching these comparisons, some of the things that are coming up tonight in our live stream. Of course, our post show is going to close us out later tonight with the interviews with all the winners of the competition, along with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, he will be on stage congratulating some of the winners, as well as giving a speech coming up here at the Arnold Classic 2014. We're also going to see the Women's Bikini International winner be crowned, strongman competition, final round of that. And we're also going to get the introduction of the Arnold Amateur winners as well, plus plenty of entertainment coming up throughout the course of the show.
And your favorite most muscular? Thank you, gentlemen. Back in line. Sean and Dennis, could you join us, please?
As you predicted, Larry, they're headed back out.
And at this point, there is no mystery that Sean and Dennis are 1 and 2 in this contest.
Gentlemen, front double bicep. And let's just go back on that white line, everybody. Front double bicep.
How much of a determination do you think the judges are making at this time? Do you think that there's still a question mark? I know that you've been pretty convinced, Larry, that Dennis Wolf was going to take this competition.
Yeah, I just think when you get to this point, and looking at them side by side, I'm every bit as convinced now. I think Dennis has gotten harder as the night has gone on. Sometimes it's difficult, Dave, when you're the first guy out, and then you have to sit in the back for a long time before you actually come out and pose again. But I think Dennis has definitely improved his condition, quite frankly, as the night has gone on. But for most judges, I doubt that many of the judges are still making a decision between these two. They saw them neck and neck, side by side, all afternoon. They saw
Back
them
lat
tonight
spread.
in their free posing. They saw them stand next to each other and pose off already just a couple of minutes ago. A lot of times there might be one or two judges left who are still debating, but my suspicion is that most of the judges have already made a
Side
decision
tricep.
whether it is for Sean or for Dennis. A lot of times these final comparisons can be very fan-friendly, but how many judges are actually left making a determination, I would suspect not many.
Abdominal and thighs.
And Larry, earlier we were talking about Cedric McMillan and it being the best Cedric we've ever seen. Do you think that both of these guys are at the top of their game right now?
I
Your
think
favorite,
Dennis
most
looks like he
muscular.
looked at the Olympia, and I thought the Olympia was the best that he's been. And I think Sean may have been slightly tighter at not last
Thank
year's
you, gentlemen.
Olympia,
Back in
but
line.
the year before.
This
when he
concludes
took
this round.
third.
Back to you, Lonnie.
But both of them look great.
Woo, that was tough. Yeah, I'll lead in.
Final round for the Bikini International contest
Thank
is
you,
on deck.
guys.